You are doing things that are bringing risk onto your business, you need to be protected. The insurance industry does a lot of really good things, but it's left folks behind, right? So historically, the approach has been one size fits all for an entire zip code. I think that to really understand the risk at a granular level should allow us to then say yes more often. It should allow us to say, yes, your neighborhood or your pocket or your business is riskier, but here's a price and a product that you can afford and can allow you to, get back on your feet when something inevitably bad does happen. Our vision is to basically bring insurance to everyone in the city. District Cover is a public benefit corporation and an insurance agency that brings insurance access to communities that have historically lacked that access. So traditionally, insurance organization is, looking to serve as broad a set as customers that they want, right? And they do take a one size fits all kind of blunt instrument underwriting approach to serve the market. And they have to do that to do it at scale. Ultimately, what that does is it leaves out a lot of individuals, businesses, or pockets of an area that would perform better if you actually looked under the hood and took a deeper dive. It's just hard to do. You need technology, you need data, you need sort of a desire to want to do it. You don't want competing priorities. Oftentimes, insurers are looking to kind of move risk off of their balance sheets, de-risk. Look, we want to go into an area that historically has performed worse, right? The problem has existed since, again, the 60s. There was a massive commission around how to bring insurance to riot-affected areas in the 60s, and nothing has really changed since that. So effectively, failure is just a continuation of what's happening today. So the same or more businesses that are unable to get insurance, the same or more businesses that are paying too much for insurance, the same or more businesses that have an event and don't have recoveries. If that continues, that will mean we have failed at our job. So in the areas that we are trying to bring insurance to, whether you're a small business customer or a consumer or even an insurance agency serving that community, you have not had great options for insurance, if you've had any options at all. These customers are people that need insurance, but they often find themselves paying too much for the coverage compared to what they might pay in another part of a city, not having access to the same levels of coverage or terms and conditions that might be available in other places, or just have a broken process where it takes them longer and it's harder and more time consuming to get to an insurance provider that ultimately would protect their business, their home, and frankly, their livelihood. Think of walking down any sort of main street in a city center. You're going to have, the accounting office. You're going to have the restaurant, the cafe, the dry cleaner. Those are the customers that we're trying to serve. So these are often, small business owners doing a couple million in revenue. Maybe they have anywhere from sort of 5 to 10 employees. A lot of them are family-owned businesses. Many of them are immigrant or minority-owned businesses that are really the lifeblood of their community. So these are places where, people in the community would go there for services, for entertainment, for just sort of emotional and support. And they're really important fabrics of these communities. And without them, the communities would really, really struggle to kind of exist and prosper. So I have grown up in the insurance industry and have seen firsthand how our industry was treating or not serving these segments of the population. So historically, insurers have used underwriting tactics and pricing tactics that have really made getting insurance harder for these areas. And we were sort of using models and approaches that were frankly outdated, and we weren't able to really deliver what we felt was an appropriate solution to those areas. So we just kind of moved on and focused on other areas. But in doing that, we had a bunch of businesses and brokers and agents coming to us with opportunities and saying, hey, can you insure this small business in this area? And when you really looked at those businesses, they looked and operated the exact same as businesses in other areas that we would say yes to. But because of outdated models and data that said, oh, the crime risk is too high in this area, or the fire risk is too high, these buildings are older, they haven't been updated, there's more vacancy, we would say no. And I was looking at that and saying, we have really, really great businesses and customers coming to us that if you move them sometimes 4 blocks in a different direction, 10 insurance companies would want to write them. our industry is not showing up for those communities. Many of those businesses had insurance. They just didn't have the right insurance. And the reason they didn't have the right insurance is because we priced them historically at a point and at a cost that was really unattainable to them, or we restricted the coverage that was available in these areas, potentially for intended reasons, but it just wasn't the right approach for these communities. What we are trying to do is say that insurance can really bring good to those communities. You should be able to reopen your business after you have an insurance loss, whether that's a fire, whether that's a man-made loss through vandalism, or whether that's a slip and fall in your store that leads to a lawsuit. You should be able to recover from that. You shouldn't have to shut down your business. You shouldn't have to rely on getting a loan at prohibitive terms. You shouldn't have to rely on the government bailing you out. We can solve that problem. The industry has solved that problem in many other places, but we haven't done it here. So we started this company because of really two things. One was it's a massive pocket of the market that has historically been underserved. And I knew that this was a place where, the right technology solution, the right approach to data and analytics could really build a big business. The second piece was really a social pull to do better as an industry. So we really believe that it's going to take someone to really focus on both of those things, right? The business side and the social side. The industry, it's hard. A lot of big companies, a lot of competing priorities, a lot of legacy approaches. We believe that sort of coming in and focusing exclusively on that problem was how it could be solved. The reason we think we can do this is, first and foremost, we believe you need to focus exclusively on this problem, right? You need to build a technology stack that can serve this market at scale and do it efficiently. You can't make a lot of money as an insurance agent selling a $2,000 policy, a $3,000 policy. You need a platform that allows you to do that quickly to then move on to the next thing. So we've built that. It's really hard for a lot of large insurance companies that have big infrastructures, legacy technology stacks to build what is needed to reach these customers. The second piece is we're building the data and analytics engine that allows us to get a lot more granular and truly understand the risk in these neighborhoods at a block by block level, right? The risk in one neighborhood is not the same as a few blocks away. A residential area is not the same as a commercial area. An area that has seen a lot of investment in terms of new buildings from an insurance standpoint should perform differently than an area that hasn't seen that. We need to understand the risk inherent in the neighborhood. Why should the accounting office in the Bronx be priced the same way as the laundromat down in the financial district? They shouldn't. Yes, they're both small businesses. Yes, they both might have be in the same type of construction building. They might have the same amount of sales, but they're fundamentally different businesses. They're fundamentally in different parts of the city that have different profiles. Let's build an insurance company and a solution that kind of treats them as such. Our vision is that everyone in every pocket of the city should have access to the right insurance product. The right insurance product might not be the cheapest insurance product, but the product that gets them open and protects their business after they have an event. And an event will happen. A big part of what we're trying to also do is increase insurance literacy, right? And help small businesses and consumers understand why they need insurance and what it can help them do and what they would not be able to do if they didn't have it, and how they can protect themselves, make themselves more insurable so that they pay a lower premium. So a lot of what we want to focus on is providing advice and tools to agents that are serving this community or small businesses or consumers to do that. And what we've learned is we can own that part of it, and others can help, provide the balance sheet risk to pay the claims. And we can continue to do that while taking someone else's product. And if that means that there's more capacity on the shelf, that's better for everybody. The collaboration that is going to be required across the industry, across the distribution points, across the end consumers to achieve the broader mission, which is to get everyone as much access to insurance as possible. We want to be at the epicenter of bringing insurance to these communities. We believe that each small business, each block within a neighborhood is very different. You experience that when you're walking around a city, a street. One neighborhood feels very different than another. We believe your insurance should respond that way as well. and we exist to get more granular and to bring the right tailored insurance to the individuals and businesses in their respective neighborhoods.